So yeah, we got the legend back. Drank the cars from stage 2 and stage 3 because there's too little, so I've put them together. Anything you want to say first of all?
Well, firstly, I saw the comments on the previous video, and people were slating me. I mean, I remember somebody was like, they want to breed me.
Hey yo,
I feel like my is close to that kind of behavior. Firstly, so how dare you say that? But you know, the Sil 80, you guys love it. But the hate comments, honestly, as a man who does not know anything about cars, we put it in now. It's time to move it back. It's time to move it back down to Max Whip.
oh man,
It's time to move it down to Max Whip. And that is because of the public hatred. How dare you speak to me in this way? There's no need. So move it down to Max Whip. Because it is a Max Whip. If the people who support this kind of car are going to behave in this manner, there's no need, is there? There's no need at all.
Well, the man has spoken, unfortunately. Or fortunately, this is what I have to do, depending on how you see it.
Sometimes the good guys got to do bad things, right?
That is true. And now I've got to move the S13 over.
Yes,
so we got one in there. Alright, are you ready for the new cars?
Sir. I'm ready.
Alright, let's get straight into it.
Let's get going.
This one right here.
Ooh,
what are you saying about this?
Well, it's got a bit of speed about him. This reminds me of in Fast and Furious.
Okay.
You watch Fast and Furious. Paul Walker's car. Similar kind of thing. Oh, it was blue. This one's white. I prefer the white. You see the spoiler on the back? Beautiful. And it's got a bit... It's just got something... It's got a bit of heritage about it. It's got a whip and a half kind of heritage about it. To be fair, it's like all these like old cars. Yeah, it's not how it looks really. It's how it drives. It's all of the engine and all this nonsense that I don't understand. I respect that. It's like your car doesn't look amazing, but it's got that secret pace about it. And the secret pace kind of adds to the coolness of the car itself.
You mentioned heritage, and actually, the Evos have a lot of rally.
Well, yeah, Evos especially. Yeah, they got the. I mean, I've watched the Grand Tour. They've got that heritage about them.
You know it already.
That's what it's about. It's like that and Subaru. They've got that heritage about them.
Yeah, you know it. And speaking of Evos, we're gonna move on to the next one, which is another Evo.
Come on.
What are you thinking about this one? Better, worse, or what?
I think it's a little bit worse. I just think in terms of looks, obviously, I don't understand what's under the hood.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my business. I mean, it's almost got that Sil 80 sort of, which we don't like on this channel. It's got that sort of thin, not too thin headlight. It's quite boxy as a whip. I know it's got some serious pace about it. I see the red on the brake panels, so I know it's got upgraded brakes. It's got a bit of that drivability about it. It's a solid whip. Would I drive it? Yeah. If I was a drug dealer. Am I thinking it's on the level of Touge legends and whip and a half? Yeah, those kind of heroes of the industry. I don't think so. Solid whip is where that one places.
And that's a good analysis as well. I mean, to be honest, now that you've ranked it, personally, I like this one more. I don't know, I just like the angularness of it. I love the all black.
I love a bit of angularness in the whip. I mean, like, if you look at Teslas and stuff, right? Like these days, they're so like curvy for no reason. Why is your car so curvy?
Agreed.
It looks awful. Your car should look like, you know, when we was kids and we used to draw. You know, you draw a car on a little bit of paper. And
exactly, you know it.
It's very square. That's what I imagine a good car to be. And all this Tesla electric nonsense, it just don't meet that standard. Like this car here meets that standard. That's why it's a solid whip.
I've actually got to point out one thing as well. What I'm noticing now is in solid whip, the GTR on the left and the Evo 3 on the right, they kind of look really similar. Like it's like squinting your eyes and looking at them. They look really similar.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I have a specific taste in cars. Obviously, you're doing this so that I like look at cars. I look at these cars. They're beautiful, beautiful little creatures. You know what I mean? Whips that like just look a certain way. They touch the little medulla in your brain in a certain way where you think, "Damn." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you put the Evo 3 in solid whip, and the Evo 4 is in whip and half. Kind of makes sense. Like the older one is like a tier below.
Yeah, they've upgraded their behavior.
Let's take a quick detour. If you've made it this far into the tier list, congrats. You're officially an S tier Touge enjoyer. If you like what you see, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Alright, let's bring out the next one, which I'm wondering what your initial impressions are gonna be, because I think this is kind of familiar, but there you go.
Oh, this is your whip, isn't it?
The thing, I'll let you rank it first before I say any more. So, what are you thinking initially?
I mean, we placed this in whip and a half before. Something similar at least.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. It's got those Celica headlights, and we know we put those in Max Whip. Just as a matter of principle these days. You know what I think about these kind of cars? The doors, everything looks like it's one sheet of metal. If you're in a crash, you're dead. Job's done. It will crumple if a bike crashes into you. Like, it just doesn't look like it could withstand the elements. It doesn't have that strength, that presence about it. Like, sure, it's fast, but if you're in a crash, are you going to survive?
Having seen the Evo 4 and then 3, and they look pretty, like, sturdy.
Exactly,
you know?
yeah.
And then you see this, I can understand where you're coming from.
Well, I mean, this looks like some sort of Soviet-era machine, where it's like, they cut all the corners they could. It decreases, it makes it faster. It's good.
What rank are you thinking?
Do I want to drive that around? Probably not. Like, I put that in probably our first, yep, that's a car. I'm sure it's fast just because it's so light. Because there's no semblance of let's protect the passenger at all in any form of collision.
Yeah, I mean, now that you ranked it, I can tell you a bit more about it. So you see whip and a half, the two cars next to each other.
Yeah.
From the left, so the one that with the pop-ups, and then the one that looks like the one we just ranked. So the one on the left is the AE85, and the one on the right is the AE86. But the difference between the one we just ranked in, yup, that's a car, and the one that looks really similar is that's the previous model, and this is like the newer model. So like they're almost the same. They're really similar. So I was thinking that when you see me bring it up, you're gonna be like, I've seen it before.
Well, no, I have seen it before, but I think this is the thing with the industry as well, isn't it? You make a brilliant vehicle, and then they start cutting corners because they want to, it's all about money in the industry, isn't it? Obviously.
I'm gonna bring out the next car. Ready?
Yes, sir.
There we go.
Okay. Firstly, can I say that's Paul Walker coded the entire way? It's got the flip-up headlights. I like the blue. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It reminds me of Paul Walker. Rest in peace. What a hero he was. It looks fast. Can I just say, this car, it looks so sturdy. Not because it looks so. It's because the alloys on the car, they look very sturdy. I mean, you see cars nowadays, their little spokes. Oh, if I was in a collision, if I was in anything, they just don't look like they could withstand the weight of the car going at fast paces round corners. It looks like they would crumple. This kind of thing, it looks like you could do one of the ones to it. It would not die. With
the car in, yep, that's a car. Apart from what's under the hood, I think that's what it has over the AE85 in whip and a half, because the rims actually look really nice. But yeah, exactly. I do have to agree with you. Like when you see cars with those like 5-spoke solid ones, I don't know. It does look sturdy. I have to agree with you.
It gives a sense of solidarity. It gives a sense of like, do whatever you want. I ain't gonna die.
What else do you think that this one has over the other pop-ups? Because I know you're a pop-up fan.
I'm a pop-up fan. It's got that sort of duality of man, where it's like, I'm not just a race car. If I want to put my family in the back, yeah, I could do that. I could whack down the accelerator, have a little bit of a boost on it. Get pulled back into the seats. It's beautiful. There's a certain duality which has to be appreciated. I could have a little relaxing time, go around the town, and it's good as well with that.
And now we're going to the final car.
Yes, sir.
Here it is.
Ooh.
Now this is going to be interesting. We haven't had one like this, I don't think.
Well, firstly, I'm going to say it's too circular. You know my opinions on circular whips. Why does it look like an oval? I mean, I like the sort of 4 headlights on the front. It looks nice. But it gives that sort of spider look to it. You know how spiders have 8 eyes?
Exactly.
Yeah, I've talked about the face of the car on previous videos. The face of this car gives the vibe of, oh, it's a spider. It looks something almost demonic-like. We don't like it. The spoiler helps it, and so does the 5-spoke wheels. But it just looks. I know this is Mercedes, right?
This one's a Toyota.
Oh, it's a Toyota. What is Toyota doing? We don't like what they're doing. Why are they trying to copy the Mercedes sort of high class things? I don't like it. And I know it's got speed about it, but just driving that around, it's too curvy for me.
What kind of person do you think is in this car? I know I've asked this one before, but for this one, what do you think?
You know what I'm imagining drives this car? Little skinny ass 20-year-old boys who wear matching tops and bottoms, Adidas tracksuits, who sell drugs recreationally. They don't even sell drugs as their business. They sell them recreationally sometimes. Play house music. And it's like, stop doing that, firstly. Secondly, why is your car so to be doing this? It just looks, I don't like it. I think it's a car, the spoiler and the alloys save it, but I don't like it overall. It don't look nice.
Surely,
It's not aesthetically pleasing. It's not there.
I know you mentioned it looks like spider eyes. Surely, with the more headlights you have, the more brightness you got. So it must be good in that way.
The thing is with headlights, right? You put them on low beam anyway, right? Like, it doesn't matter how bright it is, because you're not driving through forests. That's not the important bit. The important bit is the face of the car. If you've got a spider ass looking car, you just look like a snake. There's no two ways about it. I'm gonna put a yup, that's a car, just because the spoilers and the alloys save it. But
I think that's surprisingly nice given what you had to say about it. But I guess you're a kind-hearted man.
I'm a kind.
Your
the Godfather is very kind.
All right, well, that's it for this segment of the tier list. Anything you want to say to the people?
What I want to say to the people is, I know that a lot of you don't like how I rank the cars. I mean, I rank them purely based on looks, and you guys don't like a lot of my opinions. But you know what I want to say to that? I'm the one on the video. So, you know what? Bring your hate comments. And again, any car you say, oh, it's so good, I would have put it back down to Max Whip, just like the Celica. So bring it, baby. Come on.